Most e-bikes sound like this. And that's because most e-bikes have a chain that is helping turn the tire. But this e-bike doesn't have a chain, it has a belt, which is actually really unique. I've never tried an electric bike before with a belt, so this is brand new for me. I get to test it out and see how well it actually works, because they're supposed to hold up a lot better than chains. They're supposed to last a lot longer, like 2 to 4 years longer than a regular chain. They don't have grease all on it, so it's not gonna get your clothes all dirty. There's less maintenance that you have to do with it. So if you're interested in it, then I'll put a link in the description below for you to check it out for yourself. Now, instead of just going through all the specs of this e-bike, I'm gonna put them up on the screen for you to read them for yourself, because I wanna talk about who is this e-bike made for? What are the pros of it? What are the cons of it? What do I like about it? What are some of the features that it comes with? So when you're first taking a look at this Vvolt Alpha E-bike, I really like the way it looks. I got the chalk white color, which I think stands out really nicely, and it's a nice coating of paint. I don't know, it's like a eggshell paint. It kind of looks really nice and subtle, so I like the way this e-bike looks. Moving on to the handlebars, I really like the hand grips on this. They are a nice large surface area, so they feel really comfortable in your hand. And then they also have hydraulic brakes, which most e-bikes in the price range that this e-bike is doesn't come with hydraulic brakes, but this one does, so I think that's an awesome feature. They also have a little knob right here if you want to tighten them up or loosen them to adjust it to your need. When you're taking a look at the headlight, it's actually a really bright headlight when you use it at nighttime, and it has 2 lights right here, so it works really well. And it also has like a flashing mode, it has a bright mode, a dim mode, it has all these different modes on it, so that's really cool. But the one downside about it is that it's not actually integrated into the bike, so you have to charge it through a battery and then you can turn it on and off, but it's not actually integrated into the bike to just use like a button to turn it on, so that's one of the downfalls of it. Same with the rear tail light, it just has a button to actually operate it. To me, this seat is made more for like fitness or for cyclers. Just the way it's designed, it's really sleek and kind of thin, but I personally like larger, foamier, cushiony, squishy seats. Those just feel better to me. However, the tires on this e-bike aren't necessarily road tires. They actually have a lot of tread on them, so I bet they would be really nice if you're riding in the sand or dirt trails or anything like that. It'll just give you a little more traction. And so that leads me to this part of the e-bike, which is typically where my other e-bikes have shocks, but this one is just a solid frame, so it's gonna be a little less absorption when you're riding over bumps or gravel roads. And then moving on to one of the coolest things about this e-bike is right here. This isn't a chain, it's a literal belt, so it's pretty cool. I guess it's supposed to be a lot quieter when you ride. It's supposed to just be better than a chain, I guess. So we're gonna see how it rides actually. So right off the bat, something I noticed is that the motor engages right away. It's very responsive. Once I start pedaling, it engages and starts propelling me forward. So the response time is pretty nice. I don't even notice a huge difference between a belt or a chain as far as just the ride quality goes. Something that's a little unique about this ride experience though is, yes, I haven't even been able to hear myself pedaling because it's not a chain, it's just a belt, so it's super quiet. Like, e-bikes in themselves are quiet, but this is like extra quiet. Another thing I wanted to point out about this e-bike is that it doesn't have a throttle, it doesn't have a thumb throttle, a twist throttle, it's only pedal assist. So that's something to know if you're considering this e-bike. I personally like when it has throttles. It's just easier to get going off a start or anything like that. When I put it into a higher pedal assist level, like 4 or 5, there isn't much resistance in the pedals when I'm actually cycling. The motor kicks in and the pedals are very loose. I personally like when there's a little more like feeling in the pedals and it's not so loose when I'm in those higher pedal assist levels. But since this e-bike doesn't have gears, then the pedals do feel a little more loose. So that's something that I don't like a whole lot with this. But I feel like if you ride it in pedal assist level 3, 2, or 1, you do have resistance and it feels a little more comfortable. So what are some of my overall thoughts about this e-bike? I mean, I feel like it has good pros and good cons to it. The pros is that it's very minimalistic and simplistic, so it's gonna be very easy to ride. If this is your first e-bike ever, it's a breeze to hop on. You don't have to shift through gears, you don't have to worry about much. All you have to do is tap pedal assist higher or lower. There's no thumb throttle, so it's very easy to use. Another nice thing about this e-bike is that it's not gonna require that much maintenance because it doesn't have a chain, so you're not gonna run into issues there. It doesn't have those gears, so you're not gonna have to fix like a derailleur or anything like that. The brakes automatically adjust, they self-adjust so that you don't have to keep changing your brake pads and tightening them and doing maintenance there. So overall, it's gonna be really easy to just take the e-bike out, go for a ride, come back home, and you're not gonna have to do a whole lot to it. So that's really nice. If you're looking for that simplistic, easy to ride e-bike, I think this is gonna be great for you. And then some of the cons about this e-bike is that since it is so simplistic, you do miss out on some other features, like if you do wanna shift through gears, if you do wanna have a thumb throttle on it, and if you want suspension to have a little bit smoother ride, especially with this hard seat. So those are some of the drawbacks of this e-bike, but I think it really just depends on what e-bike you're looking for will make this either good for you or not a good fit for you. But those are my thoughts about this e-bike. If you're interested in it, I'll put a link in the description below for you to check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on another one.